What is up, everyone? Hope everybody is all good. Right, so back with a YouTube video today. We're talking about 3 tips to maximize our gaining phase. Now, again, I thought I'd do this video because it ties in nicely where I'm at with my own training. I've recently just dieted down for a photo shoot. Finished that about 5 weeks ago, so I'm reversing out now. I've also got a lot of clients at this stage of the year who, again, we've dieted down and we're reversing out into a gaining phase. Now, I want to go over a couple of the mistakes that I've seen people make in the past, what we can do to fix that, again, and take on board these 3 big tips, which are really going to help you to move forward with a successful gaining phase. Now, you can utilize this now if you are on a gaining phase, or again, save this video or these tips for when you need it, but it's going to make an absolute massive difference to your gaining phase if you listen to this, right? So, 3 big things, right? So, number one, you want to start a gaining phase from as lean a position as you can get down to, right? Now, when I say that, I mean you don't want to start a bulk from 15-16% body fat. There's so many people out there who they've got more body fat than they think, and that's the reality of it. They kid themselves into thinking that they are 10% body fat, but in reality they're 16%, 17%, sometimes even more. I've seen that. So you've got to legitimately get yourself as lean as you can. Now, I think a good range to really start a building phase is anywhere between, that 8 to 10, 11, 12% is a maximum. I would prefer someone to get down. If we can get to at least around 10% body fat, 8 to 10% is a sweet spot. If we can get ourselves down there, we just create such a big runway to build out from while still being in decent shape. Again, you will have heard me talk about this in the past. I've done videos about why we want to get lean, but I'll go over it now again and give you an example. So, if you have person A who wants to start a gaining phase from 16% body fat, and then you have person B who starts from 8% body fat, who do you think is going to have a more successful gaining phase and got a longer runway to build out from? It's obviously person B. Now, why is that? Now, if someone's starting a gaining phase from 16% body fat, more than likely as they get 3, 4, 5 months into this building phase, they're going to feel pretty sloppy and pretty uncomfortable pretty fast. That will halt the momentum that we're able to actually gain through the building phase. So if someone starts 8% body fat, they've got such a big runway to build out from while still staying in decent shape 8, 9, 10, 11 months down the line. And that's the key. The leaner that we get up front, the longer runway that we create to stay in better shape, build momentum on our gaining phases, and ultimately build more muscle, because building muscle is slow. It takes time. It takes consistent coming in, consistent training sessions, stimulus, recovery, adaptation, allowing the food to do its job. So if we're in a gaining phase and where we stop starting every 3 months, or we feel too fat, we feel too uncomfortable, and then we're backing off, you never really give the body a chance to actually accumulate some the stimulus, recovery, adaptations that we're trying to create with each session. As I say, muscle building, it's a slow process. We're trying to build it over time. So if we can go on a nice steady 10, 11 month gaining phase, you're going to lay down more muscle tissue than this person who is 3 months in, has to cut 3 months in. It doesn't work like that. It's a slow process. So the leaner that you start, the bigger the runway is to progress while still staying in decent shape. If you start from 8% body fat, you can bulk for anywhere from 8 to 12 months, nice and slow and steady. And you might end up the gaining phase maybe around 17% body fat, but you'll still be in decent shape. And that took you 8, 9, 10 months to get there. And you've built some muscle tissue along the way, all because you've started as lean as possible. So start as lean as you can. It's just going to set you up for a more successful building phase, right? So that's number one. Number two, you want to keep your daily routine in terms of your meal timing, sleep timing, steps, your training time, and just your general organisation around your training and nutrition. You want to keep everything organised and disciplined. The same that you've done on the way down, dieting down, you want to keep that the same. I see too many people, this is a big mistake, I've seen this from clients in the past, is that they finish a dieting phase, they've been locked in, they've been nailed on with everything, because they have to be meticulous. To drop the body fat and retain muscle tissue, you have to have everything locked in. When they reverse out into a gaining phase, they get sloppy. They take their foot off the gas pedal. They think, oh, no, we're only bulking now, this is easy. We can get sloppy. They get sloppy, all of a sudden meal timing goes out the window. They have digestion issues because the meal timing is terrible, and again, micronutrient quality of the foods that they're eating goes out the window, again, because they're bulking. So they mess everything up in meal timing. Sleep timing is off. They just get sloppy with training time, and they're missing training sessions because, again, they think this bulking is, it's not as important. It's dieting down, which is the fun part, or that's the most important, but it's not. Your building phase, again, this is the golden opportunity to build muscle tissue. If anything, you should be even more locked in on this building phase, because this is where you're actually going to change your physique and lay down some slabs of muscle tissue. You're not doing that when you're dieting down. Now you've got a golden opportunity of 9, 10, 11 months, however long it may be, to actually add some muscle tissue, because you've got the recovery abilities coming in with the extra calories. Make the most of it. Keep your routine locked in. Again, if you're skipping meals and then trying to cram calories in with bullshit food, your digestion's going to be off. You're going to be farting all over the place. You're going to be on the toilet constantly. You don't want that. You want your digestion to stay on point in a building phase. Let the body digest and utilise all the extra food that's coming in. Do not get sloppy, because then it has a negative impact on your training, your ability to train hard, your ability to progress your lifts and get stronger, and then it ultimately hinders your ability to build muscle tissue. And that's the whole purpose of the gaining phase. So keep your routine on lock. Don't get sloppy, because it will hinder you, and we don't want to do that. You don't want to spend all that time dieting down just to piss away the next 10 months of a building phase. Makes no sense. So that's number 2. Number 3, final one, manage your training volume appropriately and just make sure you're doing just enough volume, right? So what do I mean by this? So set numbers and volume parameters per week, how many sets for a muscle group we're doing in each session and per week. In a dieting phase, we're going to be doing just enough for muscle retention. That's the name of the game. So when we reverse out, don't throw the kitchen sink at your body in terms of volume and you start doubling your volume because you've got all this extra calories and extra food coming in. It doesn't work like that. The volume parameters that we have, there's a bell curve. There reaches a point of diminishing returns. So we go up, we reach here, we start doing more, it just comes back down again. You have to find that sweet spot where it's just enough volume for us. So the likelihood of the volume that you had dieting down, that's going to be a really, really good spot to start the gaining phase from. And more than likely, your volume won't change too much, it will stay pretty similar. But what is really going to change is your ability to now progress your lifts and get stronger in the gaining phase with the extra calories coming in. You will probably notice on a dieting phase, as you get towards the end of it, it is harder to progress your lifts. Things get a little bit more sticky and stagnant. That happens as you get really lean. Now with the building phase, we want just enough volume, and then you're going to have the ability to progress our lifts and get stronger, because that's what will build muscle tissue. It's mechanical tension and progressing our lifts over time, not just throwing excessive volume and set numbers at our body, because too much volume, too much will inhibit our ability to get stronger and progress our lifts, and that's the name of the game. So you think about it, we've had a set number of total sets that we've had dieting down, that's retained our muscle tissue. Now we bring in the extra calories from food, our recovery abilities are going up. So that doesn't mean we need to throw the kitchen sink at it in terms of volume. Keep the same volume numbers that you had over here on the dieting phase, keep them here on the building phase, and allow the food and the extra recovery to allow you to progress your lifts, because then you're going to see better changes in strength. Again, more mechanical tension will be driven to the muscle as your strength numbers go up, and that's ultimately, again, what will progress your physique through the building phase. It's getting strong across the board on your lifts. Too much volume, too many sets, that just inhibits your ability to get strong. So when you understand that, again, don't throw the kitchen sink at it in terms of volume. Come out of the dieting phase, let the food take care of, again, your progressions, which will happen. You will notice as you rebound out from a very lean position, as you start gaining body weight slowly, your lifts will just take off. This is the fun part, right? So stick with it, okay? So hopefully you take these three big tips on board. Again, I'm 5 weeks into my gaining phase now, and this is all super important stuff. This is going to set you up for a successful improvement season or gaining phase. And just to cap it off, look, this is the time to build muscle tissue. Don't piss it away by messing about. You want to be really locked in, be serious with it. Again, because this is what's going to change your physique for the next time that you diet down. You want to make sure the next time you diet down that you've accumulated more muscle tissue through this gaining phase. So make the most of it, right? Any questions you have, let me know if anybody would be interested in coaching and working with me directly one-to-one. Again, there's a link in the description below. Click on that, book a call, and we can chat over a few things. All right. But yeah, any questions anybody has, drop them down below. I'll speak to you all in the next one.